bang.
Purchase your tracks today.
Sinner made a bang.
Purchase your tracks today.
Sinner made a bang.
Purchase your tracks today.
Sinner made a bang.
Purchase your tracks today.
Hey, shalom, shalom, family, shalom. It's your brother Emmanuel again. Hope y'all can hear me very well. Just let me know if you can. I want to make sure. Hey, shalom, Fernando. Good to have you. Good to have you on board, brother. Can you guys hear me very well? Can you guys let me know at least, just so I can get the class started? Because I know sometimes YouTube has a little funny, you know, um, audio. So anyhow, I think it sounds like we're fine. So I'm just gonna start with the video. Okay, I mean the video, the I guess the class or today's edifying scriptures. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all the video in case some of you guys don't know my way. I tend to show. Well, I want to make sure that we can look at everything in regards to reading, seeing, and then having all senses available for us, so we can get a good understanding of what we're learning and how the Bible is really broken down. Okay, Okay, perfect, excellent. All right, so thank you very much, Fernando. So that's the goal of what I like to do. That has helped me grow in this truth a lot. I don't just read and not compare the Bible to what really is going on at this moment. You have to do that. The Bible is our book, and it's repetitive, past, present, future. So what's going on today, it's like Romans 15:4. What was written aforetime was written for our learning. Why? Through patience and comfort of the scripture, we might have hope. When? Because of our past? No, because of our present time. So what has happened in the past is going to happen again. So the Bible is there for us as a historic book to show what mistakes our elders did, our forefathers did, that we can avoid. One great book to read. Well, first of all, I would say read Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. I wouldn't suggest to be in Genesis just yet. You can get a hold of those four books, read them a couple of times, so you can know the history of like who we are when we came out of Exodus and the laws when the laws were given to us, and you can even see the folly in our people. We tend to do that often, so I would highly suggest that. And then, if in time goes on, because that'll take time, read Acts before you go into the New Testament. All right, so just giving you a heads up on how you may be able to just grow. But the most important thing is you guys got to stay with the basics and learning the actual laws. So as I mentioned earlier this morning, I'm going to be providing one law for y'all today. So I'm going to go to one right now so we can just make sure that we touch on it. Oh, I thought I had it open. All right. Let me, the one that comes to mind is Exodus 16:23. Okay. So Exodus 16:23. It's a basic law, basic scripture, so then you guys can go to. Okay, so Exodus 16:23. Let's see what it reads. All right, it says, and he said unto them, this is that which the Lord had said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and see that ye will seeth, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. Okay, here we're getting now a clear idea that this is actually a commandment of how the Sabbath works. So you basically cook before the Sabbath, you prepare for that day, so then you can have the actual food. So if anybody's asking you, where does it show that you're supposed to not, or not cook on the Sabbath day, you can go here, Exodus 16:23. Basic things, guys, but you got to know where to go. It's your book, it's your history. You got to know your history. You got to know your history, okay? So now, the name of the class, I guess, is called Get Out. Now, you guys know, you who watches my channel, you know how I roll. I slice it across. It doesn't matter to me who you are, what camp you are. It does not matter. If I see folly and I know that it's affecting our brothers and sisters, yes, I'm going to call it out. So, as I mentioned before, a lot of us came from a kind of like a one West camp doctrine. Okay. A lot of us came from that. And we find ourselves now, at least I could tell you from my experience from talking to other brothers, we find ourselves noticing particular things that are happening within these camps. And I'll be frank with you, man. Y'all are still my brethren. Me, at least, again, I was looking for the scripture where it shows that as long as you're keeping the commandments, it's somewhere in Jeremiah that we're still good. I mean, we may disagree, but hey, man, that doesn't mean I cut you off because 4 years or 3 years or 5 years of spending time with you, or as a family, all of a sudden we can't talk because I don't know, we don't agree with Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but we're still keeping the laws. Anyhow, the point being said, there's a lot of folly going on right now. And what we need as people, as you so-called Hispanics and Native Indians, you Hebrews, because we yearn for brotherhood. We yearn for family because we also yearn for the scriptures, and that brought it together. But I would suggest, or I should say, with bad intentions. And I'm going to clear it up today, okay? So first and foremost, I'm going to go to 2 Thessalonians 2:8. All right, let's go there first. 2 Thessalonians 2. Well, first of all, I'm going to say this to anybody. If you're here for the first time, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're here for entertainment, you might as well unsubscribe. You might as well just move on to another channel. If you think I'm going to debate people, this is not a channel for debating. If you're going to be emotional, don't even show up. Don't even hear it. Because you know what? I'm the type of man that when somebody told me, listen, you don't know this, shut up, sit down and be quiet, I paid attention. And that's how I learned. So I guess in a sense, that's how I teach. And I try to raise my family that way. And we're pretty sincere with each other. And There's no real folly in the house. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, that's just the way I roll. But anyhow, I may be rude in speech, but I'm not rude in knowledge. All right. All praises. All praises to the Most High for that. Thank you, Paul, too. 2 Thessalonians 2:8, and it reads, okay? And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. So now, all praises for that. But the most important point is, and then shall the wicked be revealed. Okay? That's the most important thing here in the scripture for me. Because the rest of the part will be in time. All right? So let's pay attention to that. Now I'm gonna play this for you guys. It's a let me read this first before I go anywhere. No, that's the Spanish one. All right, the copyright disclaimer, okay? And one of these days I'm gonna record myself and just play it, guys. But honestly, I just don't want to waste that time on it. Don't bother me because I read all the time anyhow. Copyright disclaimer, it says this content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles does not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law. Okay, so now if in case the National Geographic wants to start giving me a warning, I'll just move the video back, guys. But yeah, that's. You're going to see what I got. I got something interesting for y'all. All praises to the Most High, man. He put it in my spirit to do this class. Oh, excuse me.
And new originals just for you.
Oh, hold on.
Hit movies for
Give me a second here, guys. Okay. Let it slip by real quick here. All right. There we go. All right. The title of the video is called Zombie Parasites takes over insects through mind control. All right. Remember that. All right. Again, if I'm starting to get a warning, I'm going to move it back. All right. Lord willing, that doesn't happen. Okay. So here we go.
Molds fungi and slime molds race to decompose dead matter on the forest floor. Many spread by releasing spores, up to 30,000 a second.
Hey guys, just when I use these videos, just if you can exercise your spirit, just discern it a little bit, okay? Just kind of see beyond what this video is about. All right, so just follow with me, stay with me, walk with me, please. All right, hold on.
If just one of these spores lands in the right place and takes root, it can colonize a whole new area. But not all fungi feed on the dead. Days ago, a spore landed on this ant. Now she's acting strange. A network of roots has infiltrated her muscles. Her body has been taken over by cordyceps. A parasitic fungus. It floods her brain with chemicals, drugging her, compelling her to head where conditions are perfect. Just the right amount of light. Just the right amount of humidity for the parasite growing inside. It forces her to clamp down in a death bite and cordyceps reveals its gruesome nature. After 3 weeks of growth, cordyceps can release its own spores, infecting more ants, releasing more spores, infecting more ants, releasing more spores, infecting more ants, infecting more ants, more and more and more ants. Cordyceps can wipe out entire ant colonies. But more than just ants are at risk. There are over 600 species of cordyceps spread across the world. Most are found in jungles, where they prey on a whole host of victims.
I don't want to make it seem dramatic, brothers and sisters, but it is. There is a spirit lurking right now. And if you're not careful, it actually has done that. What caught my attention with this video was that particular part, 3 years. Now, if y'all watch my classes, Leviticus 19, 23, 24, 25 gives us instructions on how long it takes for a tree to grow and actually give circumcised fruit, and then the 4th year to the father, the 5th year to us. It's also a metaphor of how we grow in this truth and how long it takes. About 2 to 3 years is really that rough particular process. Now, you can either reap righteousness or reap in what? In destruction. And a lot of times when you're a zombie, you're not aware of the doctrine that's being taught to you, which then all of a sudden you clamp onto it because you got no hope. Something behind you is saying, this makes sense. I want to keep the laws. I love you, Father, but I don't know. I can't move from here. And I know that it doesn't make sense. Some of these things don't make sense, but we continue. Well, we still continue. And you see that this is a plague, that it's a spiritual plague that they don't even see it coming. And all of a sudden you get locked in, and next thing you know, it's too late. Because quite frankly, brothers and sisters, when I woke up and I went away from this environment of a camp where there was such an aggressive tonality towards hate. And you know what? I know what the white man did. I know what they did. And you know, they're going to get it. Believe me, Lord willing, he gives me a chance, and I'm going to make sure that I find pleasure in that particular revenge. But I also find myself confused by the fact that I was taught to hate somebody when in reality, they also did the same thing that those people did. So now I sit here and I'm still clamping on this thing. I'm talking about past tense, and I'm wondering, how do I roll? What do I do? What does this mean? Because quite frankly, it is pretty scary, guys. If all of a sudden you see this bigger picture where it's like the slave trade never happened, they came directly here, and quite frankly, all these laws that were being passed against slaves were really mostly towards our people. Now, am I saying that it's only Hispanics and Native Indians that are Hebrews? No, we are everywhere. We mix with other people, but we also have foreigners here that don't look like us, that might be our people, and they also that look like us and might not be our people. So we need to be very mindful. And how do you exercise that discernment? You use the Bible. Because look, it's not, and I say it again, man, I say it over and over. It's not just fringes or a beard or Sabbath or not eating pork or not eating shrimp and lobster or maybe having a job. If you still bitter and your children don't believe, your wife don't believe, your house is out of order, you go and teach in the street, but your wife has you in check, guess what? You're not right in the head. you're this zombie right here. You've been in the truth 3-4 years and you're that zombie right there because something is not right. Why aren't you growing? Because guess what? When I went into this truth, I went sincere. Y'all know my story, man. I went sincere. I was broken and I needed help. And instead, I got this. Second, let's go to Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. It says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. You know why? Because I was like, man, I'm trying to do the right thing. And, I ain't trying to drink, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, don't worry about it. You're in Christ, bro. You be good. And guess what? I drank and oh my God, it was the worst thing I ever did. Because I come from a background of alcoholism. So in reality, I thought that I was around brethren that would watch over my spirit because you know what? That shit, excuse my language, that killed me. It almost did. Beware lest any man spoil you. How? Through philosophy or vain deceit, meaning what? Vanity, meaning for their purpose, for their own interest, or not even aware of the bigger picture. This Bible here that we have, this historical book, it isn't just history or stories, guys. It's an actual structure, an instructional book on how to rebuild your temple once more, step by step. But it's not hard to follow, but it's difficult to apply. Why? Because it's easy to sin. You see, it's so nice to say, I'm a Hebrew. Oh my God, I'm a Hebrew. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Yeah, brother, you a Hebrew. Yeah. You know what I mean? Your wife don't have to believe as long as you believe. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Yeah, brother, we can go to clubs. Yeah, man, Passover, bro. It's all good. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. You can have multiple wives, bro. And guess what? You don't really have to work. They can work too. You stay home, bro. You the king. Oh, and by the way, F the white man. F the white man and F the woman because it's all their fault. Really? Last time I checked, a general, if he's in charge of a troop and they fail, he fails. And he embraces that failure before he blames anybody else. I don't understand how now these men are not applying that scripture. Let me finish it off and then move on. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, because that's what we are seeing right now. A lot of times, these are the things that I walk at. For example, well, you know what? I don't want to go there. Let me just continue. After the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. All right. So now let's go to Sirach chapter 40 and verse 1. I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Okay. Chapter 40, verse 1. Now, this is going to apply to us. It's talking to us. All right. So it says here, great travail is created for every man, and a heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam. That's you Hebrews. Okay. You Hispanics and Native Indians. From the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things. And guess what, guys? Because we didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you know what that means. I think you who know me, you know where I'm going. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse what? It goes right here. 19. Cursed shall thou be when thou cometh in, meaning when you are born, and cursed shall thou be when thou goeth out. There's the same thing. Same thing Sirach said, but Sirach didn't say it as bad. You know what I'm saying? Sirach said it more like great travails is created. Sorry, Sirach 41. Great travails is created for every man, and a heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam. Why? Because it's prophetic that we were going to fall off. From the day that they go out of their womb, mother's womb, when you're born, brother and sister, guess what? If you ain't getting it good, I know you ain't. I know you ain't. Because if you're living in a silver spoon, like scripture say, those that are rich, it's harder for what? It's easier for a camel to go through a needle than a rich man, something to that effect. I don't know that scripture, but my mom always quoted it, and I'll never forget it. And I'm like, wow, that's such a deep parable, but it's true. Because why? Just like Lazarus, he had it bad, sores, issues, life. Like, I'll give you an example. My son, autistic, blind, hurts himself. Man, he's got it bad. And that's Lazarus. And if I don't make it and he makes it, right? And I can be in those shoes, wouldn't it be fair? It all makes sense. But that is the condition of the matter. That is our condition. We have to get through this fight. We have to walk through the fire. Just like, I hate to use this because I have kids, so I'm reminded of it. Lion King is no different. He is a king. He accidentally, he kills it. Well, he totally kills his dad. He's depressed. He's in sorrow. He's in guilt. He leaves. He walks through the valley of death. He becomes somebody he's not. He eats insects and slugs and all this. He thinks he's a pig and then a squirrel. And all of a sudden he finds out that he's not none of that, that he's a great man or a great animal. Then now he has to walk back to the valley of death to go through and see all the crap that he had to overcome to find himself. We are no different, guys. That valley of death is when we fell off, when we stopped keeping the commandments of God. That is exactly what it is. Hey, yeah, that's the point. The people who walk in darkness have seen a great light. It's very true. And you know what? I'm gonna stop at that very moment, because I'll tell you what, I've heard this before. The ones that are really, really broken, man, those are the ones that they tend to fall back the best, because you have nowhere to go but up. Nowhere to go but up. If you think about it, the Most High gives us the instructions. So let me move on from this, okay? Deuteronomy 4 and 5. So I'm going somewhere, so just follow me, okay? Follow me real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5, and it reads, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, and even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. Latino, Hispanic, Native Indian. Now, you know, y'all are very spiritual. We're very spiritual people. So with that type of spirit, you got to have spiritual laws to guard us and guide us. So that's why it says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. The wisdom is in the mind. It's not in the physical form. It's in the mind. It's in the mind. That's why the scriptures say you got to renew your mind in order to what? I mean, look, I don't want to get off the topic, so let me continue. And your understanding in the sight of the nations. So this wisdom, this understanding, right? This patience, your understanding in the sight of the nations, they're going to admire and say, wow, this is such a great nation. Watch this. Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people, but we're not there. So why do they want our heritage? Now we're getting attacked, as I mentioned, Aboriginals, BOI camps, and then all of a sudden now they got camps, big camps saying, and the 12 tribes of Israel are black. Okay, last time I checked in the mirror, I'm not. Verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. This is also for us to understand who we are according to the Bible. Don't forget that. Because once you understand who you are, once you know how deep or how the depthness of your heritage, you know how proud that is? Brothers and sisters, your generation is basically the beginning of, like, God chose us over every other nation. And you know what? I'm going to tell y'all something about that. That is a very humble blessing of the Most High. Because for y'all to say, yeah, we're the best. No, man, it's not like that. A great king doesn't boast his power. He embraces it and he's humble about it, because it's great. He has to make big decisions for many, many people. So you cannot be a child with so much power. And a bitter man is a child. So y'all let that sink in, because we're going to continue with this topic. Verse 7. For what nation is there so great, who had God so nigh unto them, meaning so high, who God like put you at such a high status, right? As the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon for him. And then verse 8, and what nation is there so great that had statutes and judgments so righteous as the law, as this law, which I set before you this day. Now, you guys know that I read this book often. I'm not going to take it today, but I read it often about how we were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, the sacrifices, the Sabbath, the high holy days, the feast days. We had the divine book of Moses, the 5 books, or they call it divine book of Toltecs, the Teomotzli. I mean, we basically, I go through the list of things of, we kept these laws and we were a great nation, but then what happened? We fell off. Like in Sirach 40, it said it. That is our travail. That is what's going on. Now let's go to Jeremiah 6:13. All right, so let me go here. Jeremiah 6:13. Watch this real quick. It reads, For from the least of them, even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness, and from the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. Now, this is my point. For from the least of them, even to the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness. So what I mean is, brothers and sisters, somebody is being covetous about your heritage. Yeah. They want your heritage. Because as long as they keep your heritage, you are dead. As long as you don't know who you are according to the Bible, you are dead spiritually. Okay? You're like that zombie that's locking in. I'm Mexican. I know Hebrew. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Boliviano. I'm Peruano. Nah, bro. No. Don't tell me that. I'm native and I'm many years of, blah, 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 blah. That's a zombie. Because even if you go with that history, it doesn't even answer everything. And we want answers to everything. Now, for example, when y'all really dissect the Bible, it gives you the answers to everything. And you know what I mean? The answers to everything in your mind. Because that's the battle. If you don't understand that the battle is in your mind, then I don't know how I can help you wrap that stuff around you. I don't know. I really don't. Okay? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let's go there real quick. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And in verse 1, it says, Now I beseech you, brethren, by the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not so soon shaken, okay, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that day of Christ is in hand. Then it says, Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. We have a lot of our brethren that are fallen into this folly of a black Jesus. First it was the white one. Now we got a black one, and we got people that are like literally twisting scriptures. Jeremiah 14:2, Wisdom of Solomon 1:5, Job 30:30. What else? Lamentations 4. But I don't know. There's so many. Oh, Genesis 2:7. No, brother, if you go deep in the dirt, it's black. Yeah, but the scripture, when you told me to go to concordance, it says that it's red earth. No, brother, but it don't matter. Okay, well then I don't understand you. Exactly my point. So guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to continue to happen? If we don't get it, we're going to still be in this folly. Let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come except there be a falling away first. Come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Hey, and I'm going to tell y'all something. Our people are no different too. Like, no te preocupes, brother. Nomás just, yeah, I don't agree with all of the things, though, man. But, keep the laws, bro. We got to fight. Really? So now it doesn't matter. Your raza, now it doesn't matter what you believe in. Okay? All right. So it goes both ways. I told you guys, I'm telling you, if you're here and you're emotional, you might as well move on. Because I'm very, very frank, and I try to be just, and I'm not trying to be impartial or anything like that. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a favorite to our people. No, our people are getting it too. If y'all watch my videos, I put it on their face, because you know why? Most of them, or some of them, or a good bunch of them, are not our people. That is the unfortunate thing. But you know what? The one thing about us Hispanics, that it tends to be a little easier. You know why? Because for years of like history in Mexico and in Central America and in South America, the same people that look like us been raping us, basically. So it's not uncommon for us to say, yeah, you're right. They're probably not our people. You know what I'm saying? So stay with me, guys. It's not over yet. We're just barely getting started. It says, verse 4, and it says, whosoever let me go back to 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be a falling away first. We already seen it. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Which one? Remember, guys, they just changed colors. That's all they did. They just changed colors. Because if you look back at the Russian icons, they have the cross, the black Madonna, the black Christ with the cross. It's the same religion. It's no different. The white one, the black one, the black one, the white one. Then it says, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is God. Though, are they both not saying that they're both gods? Are they both not giving us images of so-called God? God don't even want that at all. He said it in as a matter of fact, let's go to it. This is another law. Basic. Hey, where do you find the 10 Commandments? Exodus 20. And what I would suggest to you guys is go to them and then number them, like putting the number right next to it. So then whenever you go there, you'll know, oh, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. All right. Anyhow, it says Exodus 20:3, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Okay, we understand that. Then it says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or in that is in the water underneath. Now, colon, watch what colon means, all right? Because they try to say, well, no, man, that just means that, as long as you don't worship it. Okay, fine. Let's find out what colon means, the meaning of colon, all right? No, not colon, cancer. It's funny. Excuse my daughter. She's sick, guys. I don't know if you can hear her, but all right, look. All right, hopefully it's a part of a lot. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, here it goes. It means a colon, the double dots, right? It means we all know the colon, right? It's a punctuation mark that looks like 2 dots. Okay, it's typically marked of introduction, used to let the reader know that what follows the colon has been pointed to or to describe by what precedes the colon. Okay, you see what it says? What precedes, what follows. All right, hold on. I don't know what that is. Oh, my bad. What follows. Okay, so now let's read it again. It says, here's a colon. It says, you should not make any images like that. Then it says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God, I am the Lord thy God. I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children of the 3rd and 4th generation of them. Thou shalt not bow down to them. Thou shalt not bow down to them. Hold on a second, guys. I don't know why they keep calling me right now. It's not a good time. Thou shalt not bow down to them, okay? To thyself, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. Bow down. Do we not see people bowing down in these camps? That's bowing down, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. That is bowing down to your so-called elder. I don't see that as an equal respect. I see more of a equal but separate. But it clearly says you shouldn't have any images. Why do you think Christ said, listen, you don't commit adultery when you actually physically commit adultery. You commit adultery when you think about it. So if you're thinking about the image of God and this is not the right image, then you're thinking of somebody other than God, which is why. Matter of fact, for example, a camera. If you guys understand how a camera works, whenever you open the flash, it marks the first picture that it pops up, and it's like it literally like lasers it in, and it just locks in. And that's how we get pictures. Your mind is no different. So now that you have a white image of Jesus, oh, now you can't. Now I remember when I would pray, sometimes that image would pop up. I'm like, what the hell? I never prayed to that image. It was always the Most High, or at least I understood him as God, right? But now if somebody tells you, oh no, man, look, you black and Jesus is black, well, guess what? You that is a black that looks like a black man, and you are a Hebrew because you mix with the other nation. Well, guess what? Now you're praying to a black person instead of thinking of the Most High and his rules. You see, that's folly. That's fleshly. That's flesh. Even with Deuteronomy 6 and 7. Oh, yeah, we're the tallest, fastest, biggest, strongest. No, that's not what it means. It means the wise, the wisdom. It ain't. Man, come on. Jacob is the man of the tent, bro. Let's be real with this. Like, why do you guys always ignore these little things like that? The Bible is not that difficult to understand. Now, what a coincidence. I actually had Exodus 20 and 4 written down. Perfect. All right. 1 Timothy 3 and 1. Let's see. Now praise to the Most High. 1 Timothy 3 and 1. Let's see what it said. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. Okay. No, hold on a second. That's not what I'm looking for. 2 Timothy 3:1. Yeah, that's right. Here it goes. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Are we not seeing this in camps? Do I not show videos where they're literally like high-minded? They're accusing each other, false accusing each other, putting videos up. They're like all very contentious. You're in my corner. You're in my corner. You're in my corner. Bro, really, man? Us that grew up in the hood, we really think we want to deal with that? We're trying to run from that life. So, well, actually, I read all the way to, no, wow, I actually read more. Perfect. All right, let me show you all this real quick, okay? Watch this. I didn't like this, man. I didn't like that I saw this because I saw it as a folly. The hypocritical aspect of people that go in there and try to teach. Look, this is what I'm telling y'all right now. If you're going to try to go and teach in the street, don't go bother some other church, man. You know why? Why? I mean, seriously, why? I don't understand why you would go in front of a church and tell them off and tell them this and tell them that. And, oh, you're in the wrong church. Oh, yeah, you're following white Jesus. Yeah, that guy enslaved us. Yeah, that guy put us in shackles. Well, guess what, Mr. Black Man? You guys put white people in shackles too. And you guys put people in shackles too. And you put us in shackles too. And guess what? The white man and the black man, the European Africans, y'all were the ones that enslaved a lot of our people. But see, if you don't know that history, you're that zombie. That fungus has rooted in itself. Now we see a lot of our brethren that look just like us, brothers and sisters. And what are they doing? Don't they come and approach us? Like, yeah, bro, no, I'm telling you, man. And you're like, no, bro, look, this, no, you're wrong. Like, hold up, man. Like, Christianity did the same thing. Catholics, they say the non-Jehovah Witness don't know the truth. Jehovah Witness say that Second Day Adventists, Seventh Day don't know the truth. The Seventh Day say that the Christians don't know the truth. Now we got so-called Hebrews that they say they have the truth, and every door has their own truth. What to do? For some of you that is actually suffering, that is actually falling under addiction or problems or finances, or you just had it hard, and you're just like, why me? You know what I'm saying? The Most High is calling you, but for y'all, I have a lot of I have a heavy heart because I know how difficult it is. You're trying to count on somebody that's at least telling you, yeah, can somebody at least show us just real, excuse my language, real shit? Like, can you teach us the laws? Why you guys arguing, fighting? Look, listen, man, I'm broken, bro. It's like when I was trying to change, man, I don't want to know about these things. Like, I know I'm sinning, man, but I'm broken. How do I stop? The same thing with me and y'all brethren. How do we stop this life and change it back to where we were? How do we build our earthly or heavenly tabernacle back to ourselves? Because the tabernacle is basically us. That's a deep thing I just told y'all. And they may right by over you, but the tabernacle is basically us. We're an earthly one now. When we individually work together to be a tabernacle, a spiritual one, we all got to work together individually, correct ourselves, make sure that we hew them blocks really well, get rid of all the clods and all that crap, so then we can be a family once more. But it takes individual work. And how do we do that? Not by arguing with the enemy, because then you're arguing with the Most High, because he fulfilled what he said he was going to do. He was going to send another people from a nation because we fell off and we're stupid and we didn't follow the laws of God. So it's not their fault. It's our fault. It's straight up. It's our fault. So I'm tired of blaming people. Yes, I do these classes so we can be aware of what's going on, but there's no reason to be hateful towards it. We need to change that hate and get rid of it, man, and work towards what? Like, listen, every energy, you can either exchange it into good or bad. That's just the way things are. All right. Let me continue. Here's the actual video. All right. So let's go. And by the way, I don't pick on any on just one school, man. If I see something that doesn't make sense and I see my brethren in those rooms, I'm gonna call it out for what it is. And I'm gonna give you some scriptures and show y'all, because it's a total lie. It bothered me when I heard it.
So God got convicted today, so we're ecstatic.
I'm disappointed in the ruling.
An Oklahoma County judge striking down a temporary restraining order against the Israel United in Christ religious group after they demonstrated on the sidewalk outside of Ebenezer Baptist Church and several other Metro Black churches following Sunday services.
So stop this foolishness.
The IUIC says it's carrying out a blitz.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters. If you're watching my channel and you are able to put your emotions aside when you're listening to me, I'm not saying that so-called black people are not Hebrews. Okay, don't misunderstand me. Now, I'm only teaching for the northern, so-called northern kingdom, because I came from an environment where that wasn't being done. So the Most High put it in my spirit to do it. Now, are a lot of them Africans from Canaanite? Yes, but they're also Edomites, and that's the funny part. There were a lot of mixture. The so-called black man and the so-called white man, since they came from Europe, you've been mixing together. So for me to see this and say, point it out to them, you're yelling at your own brethren. You need to wake up. Some of y'all are Hebrews, not everybody. Just like in Mexico and Central and South America, some of us are Hebrews, but a lot of us are not. That's just a fact. Well, I should say the other way. A lot of us are Hebrews, but a good portion of us are not, and they're the ones in power. Okay, so let's keep watching.
It's the
As I said, man, if you're emotional, I'm telling you, you might as well just change the channel now.
Christian church movement.
The commandments of God are not being taught in the churches.
However, Ebenezer Baptist Church calling it harassment.
Why do y'all worship on Sunday? Where in the Bible can we read that?
We don't.
All right, so good point, right? Why does he worship on Sunday? Where in the Bible can you read that? So you tell me, brothers and sisters, where in the Bible can you worship on Sunday? It doesn't say it. Where in the Bible does it say you can worship on Saturday? Like this calendar Saturday. Somebody show me where it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Somebody show me that. I'm waiting. I've been waiting for years now. Nobody has showed me. Somebody told me that there's 2 calendars in the Bible. Okay, where is it? I haven't seen it to this day. So for you to be that's hypocritical, because you also follow Friday to Saturday Sabbath when you're not following the right actual lunar cycle. You use the lunar for everything except the Sabbath. That makes no sense. Those are 2 calendars, and you yell at these guys. That's one thing. Oh man, it gets even better.
I don't need you to tell us how to live our lives.
The church also claiming the scene led to dangerous traffic issues. In court, the IUIC arguing they never left public property and only spoke in scripture, which includes this.
What they're misinterpreting for hatred is passion. We see ills and we're trying to fix it.
One of those ills, the group says, is tithing.
Stop taking their money,
Listen to this.
bro.
It was never monetary. What happened, Christianity over the years have morphed that into financial gain.
All right, so now, how are they accepting tithes? They call it alms. How are they doing it? With money. And guess what? When you're a man of rank, you got to give money. Or if not, they take your shirt. That's what I was told. So when you go there and say, oh, matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all scripture just to prove you something. Here we go, right here. Deuteronomy chapter 14. Watch this real quick. 24 and 26. All right, it says, and if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God had blessed thee. Verse 25, then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thy hand, and shall go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. So now we're seeing that there's an exchange of money here. An exchange of money. The Bible is actually, there's money involved. There's money involved. We're seeing it, but look in the process. It says, then shalt thou turn it into money and bind up the money in thy hand, and shall go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose thee. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusted after. So basically it's saying, if you're too far, guess what? What you were going to give, sell what you were going to give, bring that money with you. When you're in this town where we're going to have to actually have the high holy day, it says, and thou shalt bestow that money for whatever thy soul lusted, for oxen or for sheep or for wine or for strong drink or for whatever thy soul desired. And thou shalt eat therefore in the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, and thou and thine household. So it's saying that what you're offering to the Levites, that make sure that you sell it in your place, you bring that money, but you don't give them money, you give them food. So now my question is this: why are we taking money? Because you know what? We're in a system where you can actually make it work, where you do give alms in that sense, and you can resell that. I know that you seem like it's far-fetched, but it's not. If you're really about it, you criticize the Christian churches, but you're no different. You're demanding money every time, every month, every 2-3 weeks, every 2 weeks. I remember hearing, don't forget to give alms, don't forget to give alms. Listen, I wouldn't be saying this, man, if it wasn't because Christianity was no different. I remember my mom's like, oh my God, ¿ya pidieron dinero otra vez? I'm like, wow, for real, Mom? Yeah. They send me a letter. Now they want me to send money. I was like, wow, this is crazy, man. Like, we're not I never knew that the scriptures had value. And you know what? It's unfortunate because when you start involving money, then that's when it becomes an issue, man. Because then you don't know if people are really trying to buy themselves into the truth or buy themselves a shirt. You know what I mean? Those things are very confusing. Now, where am I going with all this? Where am I going with all this? I'm going somewhere with this. Watch. Acts 4. I'm sorry. Acts 4, 31 and 35. Watch this, okay? If they're sincere about collecting alms, about collecting tithes, about, helping the brethren, making sure that, hey, brother, we collect money. So then, then when things are bad or whatever, we just distribute it. That's not the way it works. Watch this. It says, verse 31. And I'll start at 31. Why not? Let's see. Acts 4:31 says, and when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and they spake the word of God with boldness. Verse 32. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common. Watch this. And with great power gave the apostles witnesses of the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great place upon them all. Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many as were possessors of lands and houses sold them and brought the priests the prices of the things that were sold, and laid them down at the apostles' feet, and the distribution was made unto every man according to as his need. That never happens, ever, from IUIC, GMS. No school has ever done that, and obviously Christianity either. You know what that means, guys? Let's say us. Okay, I see 3 brothers and sisters right now. All right, so let's say us 4. Each one of us has 20 people. Okay, we're 20 people, so we all have a congregation, and each one of us brings our alms. All right, so let's say we do it like them, and then instead of distributing it evenly within the 40 people, 2, 4, 6, 8, 80 people that are under this household, no. They keep it, and then, if you need help, let us know. That's not what the scriptures say. The scriptures don't say that you are supposed to wait for them to come help. It says, neither was there any among them that lacked. For as many as were possessors of the land and houses sold them, and brought the prices of the things that were sold, and laid them down at the apostles' feet. And the apostles' responsibility was what? To distribute. Distribution was made unto every man according as he needed. Why? Because I'm going to tell y'all something. You can actually have an organization, so-called, and collect alms and make it plain, make it clear, make it transparent, where you show the expenses of the actual building, the expenses of the light and all of that. You can have a treasury that handles those things, and then you distribute and show. You don't show the family who gets what, but you distribute the extra funds and you put aside maybe 20% for the entire family. You distribute it, even if it's $1. So what? It is the intent. Y'all are criticizing Christians, and you're no different. You're no different. And this is why I'm going here, because I realize now, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm sorry to tell y'all, brothers and sisters, man. I know that some of y'all in camp, you guys are stuck in there right now, and you're like, oh man, these are our brethren. Yeah, probably a few are, but not all of them, bro. You can see in the doctrine that it's not the same. It's not the same spirit. Us Hispanics and natives, I think y'all understand where I'm coming from when we're talking about having things equal and not having to ask for. Hey, man, I know this for a fact, bro. I've had neighbors that would come over because my mom was on her own for a little bit after my dad passed, right? And I had neighbors that would come and just check on my mom. Hey, so because her name's like, you need this, you need that. Here, I made you something. Always looking out for her. Always. And our people did that. I had a neighbor, right? Unfortunately, our neighbors were Section 8, right? And they always had, there was always children there. And there was this kid that would always, get out with his diaper, man, and bring an egg over. I would cook him the egg. You see, this is how our people are. But you have a spirit, and I think we need to call it for what it is. It is what it is, guys. So let's keep it real. It says, moreover, this is from the Geographical History of Africa. Okay, this is Leo Africanus. This is a black man that was born in Granada. All right, look, 1492 approximately. Okay, he was born in Granada. It says here, moreover, this part of the whole world is inhabited especially by 5 principal nations, to wit, by the people called Kafri or Kafetas, that is to say, lawless or lawless, I guess lawless, by the Abyssinians, the Egyptians, the Arabians, and the Africans or Moors. You hear that? Africans or Moors, properly so called, which last are of 2 kinds, namely white or tawny Moors. So you see, guys, I'm not lying. In Europe, they had light skin or dark Moors. And those were also Islamic practicing Moors and Jewish practicing Moors. Watch this. Namely, white or tawny Moors and Negroes or black Moors, of all which nations some are Gentiles. Watch this, which worship idols. So now it's saying, out of all these black Moors and Negroes, watch what it says. Of all which nations some are Gentiles, which worship idols, others of the sect of Muhammad, some others Christians, and some Jewish religion, the greatest part of which people are thought to be descended from Ham, the cursed son of Noah, except the Arabians of lineage of Shem, which afterwards passed into Africa. Yada, yada, yada. You guys can read that book. All right, now here's one other one. Watch this. This is page 6, but it's kind of weirded out. It's like chapters. You guys got to find it. All right, it says here, right here. It says, all which opinions and reports are to be understood only of the original of the Tani people. Okay. Here, let me let's start right here. All which opinions and reports are to be understood only of the original of the Tani people, that is to say, the Nubians and barbarians. Here it goes, guys. For all the Negroes or blackamoors are descendants of Cush. Let me read it again. For all the Negroes or blackamoors are descendants of Cush. Okay? Then it says, the son of Cam or Ham, who was the son of Noah. But whatsoever difference between the Negroes and the Tani Moors, certain it is that they all have one beginning. This is a black man saying this in 1490. Okay? For the Negroes are descendant of the Philistines, and the Philistines of the Mizraim, and some of Cush. But the Tani Moors fetched their pedigree from the Sabians, and that is evident that Saba was begotten of Ramah, which was the eldest son of Cush. Diverse other opinions there be as touching this matter. Remember the colon, which because they seem not so necessary, following up with another list, we have purposely omitted. All right. Now let's continue. One more. I got more. Here it goes right here. Watch what it says. Here, Leo Africanus is literally saying he's an African because he separates himself from Hebrews. Watch this. The Egyptians, as Moses writes, fetched their original Mizraim from the son of Cush, or Cush, the son of Ham or Cam, the son of Noah. And the Hebrews call both the countries and the inhabitants of Egypt by the name of Mizraim. You see that? And the Hebrews, he knows he's not a Hebrew. He even said it, that there's convert blackamoors that were Jewish, Christians, and Islamic. So when you talk about a nation of people that come from far away, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth, guess what? You know, like you're dealing with a couple of people here. Now it's not just the white man now, is it? And see, that's the point. That's the point. Because the rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Watch this real quick. Where are you? Right here. This is from the Negro book. A Jew, the Negro or something. The Jew, a Negro. And then I have also the link that they got this from. It's from this guy, Diodorus Siculus. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Just real quick. I'll just show y'all because it's not that easy to find it on the link. Okay, give me a second. I saved it purposely. Where are you at? Give me a second. Research history playbook. No. Oh, here goes. All right. So in this page, you see here, this page right here, Diodorus Siculus. This is like Greek stuff, right? So I'm not gonna do this not right now, guys, because I gotta click a bunch of things to find this particular part here. But that's where I got it from. Okay. Maybe I'll click on it. Hold on. Let me see where I click. Where's the translation? Translation. The translation. I gotta go back. It's been a few weeks since I touched it. But anyways, that's where you get it from. Okay, so watch what it says. Diodorus Siculus told us that the Phoenicians in earlier times sailed beyond Hercules Pillars along the African coast. That means where Spain is, at the tip of Spain in Africa. Okay, and their meeting with storms and tempests were carried to the remotest part of the ocean, meaning they were taken to the middle of the ocean, the Atlantic. And after many days came to a vast island at a great distance from Libya and lying very far west. It says, the Phoenicians informed the Carthaginians of this place. The Carthaginians prohibited other nations from settling in it. Why? They reserving it for themselves as a place of retirement if they should ever be driven from their soil. Listen, guys, in this book, in this link here, okay? Let me see if I can do it. Let me see. Oh man, how did I get it? I forgot how I found the link. I went to a page. Let me see, maybe here. I went to a page. I clicked on a link, and it took me to this right here. Maybe let me see. Maybe I can put enter. Okay, let me click on that. No. Maybe it's, oh wait, hold on. I think it's maybe here, 20 in section 5. Yeah, no, I have to actually, it takes time to find it, guys. My apologies, but it says it in here that these guys were actually seeing our nation of people, like our people. And like when I brought out the American Holocaust, right? And when the Spaniards showed up and they're in awe, like, oh my God, this land is so beautiful. I didn't know there were like floating gardens and all that. Well, these guys say the same thing in here. They say the same thing. They say that there's like floating gardens, and the people, like in the summer, they come out and blah, blah, blah. So they knew who we were since that time. So you think these Phoenicians weren't already interested in this land? You know, that, why do you think we are really being bombarded with, hey, I'm a Hebrew. You're not a Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew. And we're like, okay, well, what's the deal behind all this? The rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper every time. Watch this one here. I think I have it still, okay? Hopefully I do. Let the blood. Okay, maybe I have to go here. Give me a second. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna go somewhere real quick. I'm staying here. I'm just gonna go to page. Let me see. Hold up. Give me a second. Let me get to it real quick. The blood stay pure. The book is called Let the Blood Stay Pure. Okay. And it would be on page 67. Oh, I know where I put it. Here it goes right here. Watch what it says. So they knew who we were, and they know who they are. This says in page 67 of Let the Blood Stay Pure. The year 1619 had been earmarked by the earliest date of arrival for Negroes to the English colony. Yet they accompanied Spanish North American expeditions almost a century before English arrived in Virginia. You hear that, guys? Let me read it again. The year 1619 has been earmarked as the earliest date of arrival for Negroes to the English colony. Yet they accompanied Spanish North American expeditions almost a century before the English arrived in Virginia, meaning in 1492. Okay? So the black man and the white man are in cahoots with this particular conquering. Okay? Watch this. Then it says, there is evidence also that they cohabited with Aborigines in the earlier 17th centuries. Now, it says, in 1603, 7 Negroes escaped from St. Augustine, with some maintaining their freedom and marrying Indian women. Franciscans found Negroes, meaning Africans, and Indians, our people, cohabiting together in Florida, and repeatedly admonished the Aborigines that it was unclean that to keep Negro mistresses. No, they weren't talking about them. They were talking to them about us, because look what it says up here. Arrival that they accompanied North American expedition almost a century before the arrival of Virginia. There's also evidence that they cohabited with the Aborigines in the earlier 17th century. Now, they're Aborigines, but they don't call them Indians. You see, this is wording. This is trickery right here. This is witchcraft. This confuses your mind. If you cannot read between the lines, you're going to assume it's just Negroes. Oh, okay, I see. No. It's making here, you could take it like the Franciscans telling the Indians to stay away from Negroes, and that's not true. Because look, Negroes, Groes. This one's a Negro. Mistresses? Why? And then it says, repeatedly admonish the Aborigines to keep Negro mistresses. Why not just say Negroes? You gotta read between the lines. Watch this other page I have here. Give me a second here real quick. I think it's this one. Here, let me go back to the other page then. Where you at? Let's go here. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I want to provide as much as I can for y'all. That's why I don't want to leave it out. Otherwise, I would just move on. Let's see. All right, let me go here. Okay, give me a second. Let me jump here real quick. All right, so we got that page up there. You guys can read that just in the meantime. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. The page right here. Come on, man. Bear with me here. Okay. This page, I find it very interesting. It's often read, but this page is ignored. The following page is read, but the page before is ignored. And look what it says. It's actually telling us that Europeans had been mixing among themselves for some time, okay? And that they were actually losing the color, all right? So as they were losing the color, you could see that people were starting to have a variety of brown. I'm bringing all this up, guys, is because if we keep falling for this folly, that is the matrix right there, okay? We got to wake up to that fact. Watch what it says here. This is from a book called The Treatise of Physical Geography, page 296. It says, the rapidity with which color changes is seen in the English colonies of North America. Okay, so now it's saying the color changes fast in North America. Watch this. It is not 250 years since the very first colonists arrived from Britain, and much shorter time since the ancestors of most represent New Englanders across the ocean. And yet they have lost their clear complexion of their kindred beyond the waters and acquired much of the hue of the southern French and the northern Spaniards, so that if an assemblage of each nation were passed side by side, there could be no difficulty with whatever in distinguishing them by their complexion alone. With respect to intermixture with the Indians, we know, as a matter of fact, that it never took place. And it says here, I didn't bring this page 67. The Aborigines of America is a different matter. Why? because these guys here were African, children of the Africans when they were mixing with our sisters. That's why. You see, the Africans knew not to mix with us. That's why this law called partis sequentum ventrum, right? I mentioned it, but you know why? Because we need to know. Because these things have been hidden from us for so many years. We didn't even know this, and then when we hear it, we think it's about black folks. No, it's about you sisters, you Native Indian sisters. Watch, partis sequentum ventrum is basically a legal doctrine that legalizes rape of a woman, and if that woman is a slave, which is the only way you would rape her, that child would then be basically a slave. So it just says here that which is born follows the womb. So if she's a slave, the baby will be a slave, whether it's rape, whether it's white or black. The sad part is that they were enslaving their own children. That's the worst part. But you know what? Just to be clear, I'm going to bring this guy up again because you know what? I'm hearing it from the horse's mouth himself. I don't know who this guy is. Maybe I'm making him famous. I don't know, man. But you know what? When I watch his videos, this guy knows something. Some stuff that we don't even know. So you know what? Freemasonry. I wonder. I'm just saying. Here we go.
For the first illustrious so-called African Americans to rise into prominence was a melanin deficient parent, in most cases a father. This outcome was mostly a result of Virginia colonial slave statute partis sequitur ventrum. That which is brought forth follows the womb, meaning the legal status of a child born of an enslaved Indian woman will always remain enslaved. This law gave planters and free white men in general carte blanche authority to impregnate captured women without having to so much as even claim responsibility for their mixed race children. Just as common, these children were sold on the mulatto maid market as house niggas for an added sticker price as compared to their darker skinned counterparts. In this aspect, Virginia colonial law was totally contradictory to English common law, which states that a child's status follows the father. Of course, this law extending from the earlier Virginia codes was designed this way to assure legalized rape of indigenous women without consequence and naturally the perpetuation of slavery through a duplicitous.
You guys hear that? Legalized rape of native Indian women. Watch this.
States that a child's status follows the father. Of course, this law extending from the earlier Virginia codes was designed this way to assure legalized rape of indigenous women without consequence and naturally the perpetuation of slavery through a duplicitous modification of English common law.
Now, we weren't taught these things, okay? We were taught that that law applied only to black folks. And we were also taught that anybody that had black children, they were enslaved. Well, guess what? That's a lie too. Remember, the topic or the, look, listen, guys, my thumbnails suck, but I don't even care. Honestly, it's the word of God that matters. But my thumbnail says lies, lies. Oh my God, more lies. Watch this. This gets better.
Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free.
What? Let me play that again. Hold up.
Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free and were counted among free people of color.
And were counted upon free people of color. So this wasn't the only couple. It sounds like there was a lot going on, which is why they started passing laws to stop this, because they were also mixing with the natives, which were giving them rights to what? Get their land back. You see, all of this happened through, look at the word called head right program of the 1600s. Head right, okay? Or start right, one of those two of the 1600s. You're going to see how it actually worked. There were indentured servants and they were to get acres per every indentured servant. If we're related, I'll act like your slave, right? Supposedly, and you get acres and I work it and I'm your down payment. So then they would bring more indentured servants, and that's how you would see people get 500 acres, black people as well as white people, taking land from our gente. But that's not taught in these schools. Why not? Why don't you teach these things, One West? Why not? Why hide it? Is it either you don't know, or there's an agenda, or you're the mushroom that has finally said, psh, and all of y'all are zombies believing lies.
White men were freely allowed to abandon or kill their children without recourse.
Of course he's gonna say that, right? Of course he's gonna say that. I mean, come on, bro. Really? Yeah, you're gonna. Anyhow, let me show y'all this real quick. Because look, this is also another thing, and I've said it. I showed you this before, but man, I just can't look. I can't get over this. They knew this place and they reserved it for later. Look, it says here they're reserving it for themselves as a place of retirement if they should ever be driven from their native soil. Their intent is to get rid of us, and if it means through our heritage, through a spiritual sleep, guess what? They're going to continue to do it. Now, I'm going to be mindful to y'all. I'm telling you this right now. The only way to defend yourself to these things is through the scriptures, because you're dealing with powers, principalities way above and beyond what our understanding is. You have no clue what this means. This is even out of their control. Let's put it that way. That's how big this thing is, because as long as we are asleep, this world stays wicked. Watch this. The nerve of these people, honestly, watch this. I hope they can play it. Oh, yeah.
The legacy of slavery and placing slavery at the center of the narrative. And that's what we did. It's not that we were hiding any, the legacy of slavery and placing slavery at the center of the narrative. And that's what we did. It's not that we were hiding anything. I find the backlash in some
Pay attention to what she says, okay? Sorry about the echo.
ways unsurprising and in some ways surprising. For instance, with respect to Mr. Page, when one suggests that the 1619 Project is a project about Black victimization and not patriotism, it makes me wonder if Mr. Page even read the project, or if Mr. Page even read my essay, because my essay is about how Black people, despite undergoing chattel slavery, legal.
Here, I'm going to say something to the so-called Black folks that are our people, okay? And maybe you haven't lived among us to understand. With our gente, we tell each other, ya deja de chillar. Like, stop crying, bro. Get to work. Finish it up, man. Come on, let's go. Let's get it done. That's how Raza is. That's how the Hebrews are. Just saying.
Apartheid, lynching, racial terrorism, segregated schools, segregated housing, segregated military, believed fervently in the founding ideals and have fought generation after generation to make those ideals true. And in fact, had a faith in a country that didn't treat us as citizens and expanded democracy for all Americans. I don't think.
You see that? They didn't get treated as citizens, and they expanded democracy for all of us, supposedly. Well, we're going to find out if that's true. Let's continue. Here's another one. The nerve of her. Watch this. Watch what she says now.
And one that will probably be the most surprising to readers is the one by Harvard historian Taya Miles on settler colonialism, Indian removal, and how the 5 so-called civilized tribes also engaged in chattel slavery. I knew we needed to have an essay that dealt with Indian removal, but we had to find the right one. So, one that will probably be the most surprising to readers is the one by.
All right, you guys heard her. Okay, well, let's see this right here. Watch this. Let's see. So we enslaved y'all, huh? Black conquistadors, armed Africans in early Spain. Watch this. I, Juan Garrido, black resident de color negro vecino of the city, Mexico, appear before your mercy and state that I am in need of making a probanza to the perpetuity of the king al perpetuidad rey, on report on how I served your majesty in the conquest and pacification of this new Spain. The rape, rob, murder, pillaging, dog feeding, the chopping of the noses, all of this right here. I'll show y'all. Where you at? Ezekiel 23:25, it says, and they shall come against thee with chariots and wagons, wheels, and with assembly of thy people, which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet. Wait, am I look? Oh, let me read this. And roundabout, and will set judgment before them, and I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgment, meaning the Most High sent them to punish us, but they're going to use their judgment to punish us. And I will set my jealousy against thee, meaning us, and they shall deal furiously with thee, and they shall take away thy nose and thy ears, and the remnant shall fall by the sword, and they shall take thy sons and thy daughters, and then thy residue shall be devoured by fire. That's exactly what happened to us. I literally just posted something on on YouTube, one of those like normal little posts. I'll show y'all. It's a picture, and I honestly was tripping out. Then I just literally just did this today, and I'm like, oh my god, that's actually what I had done. Well, watch this. I'm gonna show y'all. We need to know who we're dealing with, guys. We need to know. Because if we don't know, then what does that mean? Watch this. See? I will set my jealousy against thee, and they shall deal furiously with thee. Look at that. They shall take away thy nose. Boom. Look at the nose. Look at the nose. Look at the nose. Look at the nose. They're ripping the nose with pliers, man. Imagine getting a metal plier around your nose and just getting it twisted until it comes off. They shall deal furiously with thee. These weren't only white men, guys. And they shall, and thy raiment shall fall by the sword. Do they not have swords? And they shall take thy sons and thy daughters, and thy residue shall be devoured by the fire. And thy residue shall be devoured by what fire? Meaning the devouring of the animals that were eating up the babies because they were so tender. Y'all think this is a joke? This isn't hate talk. They love to say, oh, this ain't hate talk. Is this truth? Oh, this is truth. You guys enslaved a lot of our people. And you're out there claiming something that's not true. Or at least I should say, why don't you at least admit what you've done wrong yourselves? Why is that not possible? Watch this one. Park Ethnography Program. It says American explorers of Spanish America. The first Africans from Spain were known as Ladinos. So you guys that are saying Sephardic this, there it tells you right there. Those Ladinos were Sephardic Jews. They were black. They were brown and they were light skinned as well. Because I even found a video that shows how you have the Creole and then the light-skinned Spaniard. And it said it that way. I was looking for this class and I couldn't find it. It's in Spanish anyway, so when I do the Spanish class, you guys can catch it. Or it's Spanish, I'm sorry. The first African from Spain were known as Ladinos or Hispanicized Africans and were soldiers, servants, settlers, and slaves. That's not true. They were indentured servants. They were this. You see that? Soldiers, servants, settlers, and slaves. Really? How can you be a servant, settler, and a slave? How do you determine that? They began to arrive in the Americas as early as 15th century. You see that story about the other guy? That it was Africans mixing with our people, and that's how you get aboriginals? Hello? Many as auxiliaries to the Spanish and Portuguese explorer. As Matthew Rittal states, from the very onset of Spanish activity in Americas, Africans were present both as voluntary expenditures and as involuntary colonists. Many people of African descent initially saw passage to the New World as means of bettering their social and economic positions. Lander notes, give their number and role in Spanish port like city like Seville and their generally depressed economic conditions. It is not surprising that both free and enslaved Africans hoped to improve their lot by crossing the Atlantic on the early voyage of exploration and conquest. And you could see that here. To those voluntary set ones, African pioneers. Yes, I have massive amount of books on risk. The African pioneers who set out for New World contributed greatly to the building and maintenance of colonial society. Doesn't the black man say, we built America? Okay, so now I know what you're saying. You built America by killing our people? The Buffalo Soldiers? The Buffalo Massacre? The African pioneers, meaning you settlers who killed our brothers and sisters, raped our women. The African pioneers who set out the New World contributed greatly to the building and maintenance of the colonial society. You see that? And maintenance, they use them as muscle because that's what the white man needs. They can't do it alone. Together with the Europeans, oh, look, I didn't even read this, by the way. They formed a specialized and limited pool of human resources circulating throughout the circum-Caribbean area. Ooh, let me get it in. This is slavery. Together with Europeans, they formed a specialized and limited pool of human resources circulating throughout the circum-Caribbean area. I've never read it in such a nice manner. That's basically slavery in such a white way to put it. Human resources circulating throughout the Caribbean. Oh, wow. Between 1519 and 1600, 151.6 thousand Africans disembarked on the Spanish American mainland, and another 187,000 over the next 50 years. In all, 50% of all enslaved Africans brought to the New World between 1519 and 1700 and disembarked in Spanish America. From 15 to 1700. Remember, they were coming here as servants, as soldiers, as colonists. Yes, the Moors and the Jews, the Sephardic Jews, they were the ones that were also conquering our people. Africans and their descents were an integral part of the exploration of Spanish America from 15th throughout the 18th century. Wow. Spanish expeditions within that would become the United States largely covered Florida and Southwest. You see that? It could go on and on, guys. Look, Panfilo de Narvaez expedition of 1528 from Cuba to Florida is one such example. The expedition included Esteban, perhaps most notable African male, to aid in the exploration of North America. Look, the Coronado expansion included a free African man who later served as an interpreter and would eventually become a Franciscan friar. Isabel, a mulatto woman. Look. The conquering wasn't just the white man. So IOIC, why are you in front of a church trying to tell other black people not to follow the white man when it took both of y'all to come here? That guy in the Arvas, watch who he is, was a Spanish journey of exploration and colonization started in 1527, intended to establish colonial settlements in Garrison, Florida. This guy wasn't a white guy. You see that he was a black man. He said it himself. Black conquistadors. Juan Garrido. Basically the same thing. With the role of people of African descent in Latin America, colonization is relatively well known. With the role. Not like, oh, with the servitude. No, with the role of people of African descent in Latin America, colonization is relatively well known. He noted that it is for the most part an impersonal history. A black conquistador in Mexico was his contribution to the personalization of black history in Spanish America. More than 2 decades later, the process of personalization and contextualization still has a long way to go. That's why, brothers and sisters, you need to get out of these camps, because they're saying Judah, Benjamin, Levi, they're the top tribe. You guys are not. Prophecy only goes through them. We're equal but separate. You see this in their spirit. They're not your people. Now, are they some that are? Yes, of course. I've met them. But this is going to be hard for them, because when you teach them God is black, Christ is black, the prophets are black, you look in the mirror, you're black, but and then within you, you're like, well, I do feel a little different, but you ain't going to say it. I know for a fact that y'all think that. That may just mean that you're a Hebrew, man. That doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything, bro. You just mix. That's it. Listen, the Northern Kingdom, so-called, had it that way at first. Well, now the tables have turned, and now it's time for you guys to examine yourselves. Not us anymore. We already done the hard work. We're a little bit ahead, to be honest with you. All praises to the Most High God. Remember, the first is last, and the last is first. All right, I got another one for you guys. Sorry, let me slow down a bit. I'm talking fast. This is from America's Gift to America, Africa's Gift to America. Watch what it reads. That's confirmed. First Africans, not slaves. Strong documentary proves that the first Africans in America were not slaves, and that shadow slavery of them did not start until 1659 or 1682 is given by competent researchers. Okay, it says here, origin of the free Negro class. Let's say Russell, in his chapter Origin of the Free Negro Class, calls the belief that the first Negroes were slaves a popular error maintained and supported by a large number of writers. The evidence clearly points to the customary indenture for Virginia archive shows that throughout the... Oh, let me borrow it. This is a great placed book resource, guys. Check it out. Archive.org. I'm sure people know. All right. It says here, Second quarter of the 17th century, Negroes were being released at the end of their period of indenture. Some of them were 4 years, some of them were 6 years. I read it. The Virginia, the Old Dominion. You can get this book on archive.org, okay, on this website. Mary Stannard says the common belief that all Negroes brought to Virginia in the early period were slaves is an error. IUIC, GMS, ISUPK, y'all need to stop teaching what you're teaching. First of all, the chart is done away with, okay? And because you guys even say yourself, well, I mean, you may not be this tribe. At the end, we'll find out. So then why even show the tribes? Why even show the 12-star chart? It makes no sense. You focus on those things. It's all earthly. It's all carnal, man. That doesn't help anybody. The Most High did not help me because, oh, God, Christ is black. Oh, yes, I've changed. No, man. It wasn't about some color. I needed help. And I needed the Most High. That's all I did. That's all I did. Judicial cases concerning American slavery and the Negro. A Carnegie Institution publication gives instance for the first Negro serving for only a number of years. One is a court order of September 1625 ordering Lady Yardley, wife of governor, to pay a Negro 40 pounds of good merchandisable tobacco per month as long as he remained with her. She adds, it's just a lawsuit. It's showing you right there that Negroes were not enslaved. But I know this did happen to us. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49. It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against you from far. Now we know that the white Europeans and black Europeans came from far, from the end of the earth. It says it's the other continent. You had black Russians, black Germans, black French, black Spaniards, black Italians, black Moors, black Africans, whatever other black you want to consider. The Lord shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. Okay, so now you guys are saying that the eagle is not real. Okay, all right, well, let's see. I'm gonna show y'all the eagle. We know the white man loves the eagle, but so do these guys. Boom, look at that eagle. All right, here's another one. Eagle, another one. Eagle, another one. Oh, what is this? Oh, yeah, these are pictures. Okay, look. It wasn't just the white man that had the eagle. They like to say that. Oh, look, Edom. Edom has the eagle. No, you guys did too. The Lord shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, meaning with that intent, with that fierce prey attitude. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. It wasn't just the white man, guys. Now, why am I saying this, though? We need to know who our enemy is, because we need to separate ourselves. That's why. There's no need for resentment. There's no need for hate. We need to prepare. We need to build our nation up. We need to let go and let the Most High do its work, because we need to work on ourselves. We're already destroyed. We cannot be focusing on all those things. Now, the teaching aspect, you could leave it up to the brethren that know how to teach, so then you can bring attention to what's going on in our lives today. Be mindful of those things, but you also cannot ignore them. Like, oh no, brother, you don't teach that because it's going to create hate. No, you got to learn how to teach so that you don't teach hate. You have to teach knowledge so then you can apply it. And that's the scriptures. Look, it says Deuteronomy 28:36, and the Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou serve, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone. Now, what king did they have when they came here? They didn't have a king. What cattle was destroyed? The ox. If they were on slave ships, what land was taken from them? Absolutely none. Okay, and we keep seeing more and more information. It just gets crazier and crazier. The more I dig, and I'm like, no, man, I'm probably wrong. No, the more I find. Verse 47 on Isaiah, it says, chapter 10, it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. They think we don't see them anymore. Like, oh no, bro, no, we're the same people. No, man. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge has perverted thee. Wow. And we see it now. Did not somebody claim that they're John the Baptist and they had an elaborate entrance to like as a throne? Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it had perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am none else beside me, meaning God is black, Christ is black, the prophets are black, then the 12 tribes of Israel are black. Here, I'll show you, man. Y'all think I'm kidding. What's this? I think it's this one. If I don't find it in time, I'll just move on. It's a waste maybe of time. Yeah, I don't care anymore. All right. So anyhow, yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let me close this real quick. We're gonna read to verse 14, okay? That says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it ariseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And stand now with thine enchantment. This is an enchantment, guys, like the actual mushroom. That's what I was talking about. They've enchanted our people thinking that that image is the right one. And I'm like, yo, listen, bro, Deuteronomy 28 doesn't even apply because like literally it's a skip and a hop. And y'all saying it's from the end of the earth. No, bro, the end of the earth. It could also mean like let's say your neighbor's house, you know, like from the end of that earth. Like, whoa, now you became Christian. Straight up twisted his tongue for just to I don't know what was going on with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, brother, that's true. Let me see that real quick. I want y'all to read this. Let me read it real quick. It says here, Mexican, Shalom, bro. This world is given to the wicked. All the kingdoms of the earth are of the evil one, with power to prize with his faithful. So anything official and mainstream will always come with a spiritual condemnation. You know what? That's exactly true. Because honestly, this truth is not like that. It's not mainstream. It's individually. It's in those houses, going to individual homes. That's how Paul and all the prophets did it. It wasn't a major thing. It was going to house to house to house to teach. Anyway, and they weren't blasting the white man. What was that going to do? They were just going to get somebody killed. You know who was actually killing their own people? Let's focus on our own people because that's already a battle in its own. Why worry about the enemy? Come on, man. It makes absolutely no sense to do that. Y'all got the Bible in your hand and you don't know how to use it. Stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsel. You see, all of this is out. Like that's what I'm telling you. I've been noticing something going on in these camps. It's a spirit going on. There's a lot of insecurity, a lot of unsureness, man. People are starting to be aware of the truth that's really coming out. That a lot of things that we were taught was incorrect. First, the white man lied to us, and now the black man lies to us too, bro. Literally, man, that's like double whammy. Like, wow. So, which reminds us, why are we listening to a nation of people that are not from here? They're foreigners to tell us who we are. We count on the white man and the black man to tell us who we are when we've been here since 530 BC. We came, well, I said another class, but we don't need them to tell us who we are. Or you know what we need? Y'all need to just pick up the Bible and stop being lazy and read. I'm sorry, let me stand the chat. Okay. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsel. I'm getting tired of this, man. They know the truth is coming, and I can sense the pressure. There's one camp that you can feel the pulse of what's going on, and they're the ones that are getting more aggressive because they're starting to feel the pain. Now it's like, I can shave my woolly hair, and I can feel the power, and the richer, the darker. So I'm like, wait a minute. Africans are really, really black. Are you saying now that Africans are a people because they're really, really black? Something's going on. Let now the astrologers and stargazers and monthly I don't want to read that because that's really not something that I want to get into. Behold, they shall be as stubble, and the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves as the power of flame. There shall not be the coal to warm at all, nor fire to sit before thee. All of this is going to happen, guys. Now let's go to Hebrews 2:9. I'm almost done, okay? I'm almost done. Hold on, let me get this out the way. It says Hebrews 2 and verse 9. It says, but we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels. Wait. Hold on. Let me get this real quick. Apparently, that's not the right verse. Let me see. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Habakkuk 2:9. It says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house. Are they not saying that we are them? Are they not saying they're the Hebrews? Or is there not a camp called Fopi and some other one saying that all you Mexicans are Mongols, Spics, Beaners, and wetbags? You guys are not Hebrews. There's no way you can be Hebrews because you look like Asians. Little do they know that our migration actually went from Israel all the way through the Assyrian, all the way through India, all the way through Asia, all the way through Russia. But see, they don't know that because it's not their book. It says, woe to him. And by the way, they were preaching it the other way so they can make themselves seem like, yeah, we were Africans. If you just say that we went through Africa, then yes, you're going to use the African doctrine. Woe to him that covereth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Give me a second. I'm going to drink some water. Let's go to Jeremiah 2:34 because we're pretty much almost done. Okay. So all I'm saying, guys, is be mindful of what's going on. All right. Y'all who are still kind of back and forth with going to jump in a camp, I'm going to tell you right now, man. I know that it seems like you want to be alone because you need assistance and all that. Well, I'm going to tell you something, man. Your salvation is by yourself. I'm going to read it to you. Jeremiah 2:34, it says, also in thy skirts is found the blood of souls of the poor innocent. Now we know that it was you guys too that killed our people. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. Let me read it again. Also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. So we now know that you guys were the contribution to the destruction and pillaging of our people. We now know that. So what do we do with this knowledge? 13:26 of Jeremiah. Watch what it reads, okay? It says here. It says, therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. So this is what we do. We discover their skirts and we teach our brethren who they truly are. Because I'm telling you, this walk, y'all cannot be afraid of this walk, man. This is not an easy walk. If you think that being a Hebrew is a cake and a walk, now it's not. Because you got to face yourself and you got to change. And no one can do it but you at the Most High. You got to face your fears. You got to face your demons. You got to face all of that crap you've done in your life. And you know how many people are not willing to do that? A lot of them. That's why the scriptures say, I don't remember which one, I think Psalms, it says that out of 1,000 people, he found one just man. Now, out of 1,000 women, he found none. Hey, that's the scriptures. I didn't say that. So no bash on you, sisters. All right. I'm not doing classes like that right here. At least not right now. Second Esdras 6:26. This is the actual battle that we focus on. We understand now what is it that our enemies, what they've done. Okay, what do we need to do, Emmanuel? Watch this, guys. Because whenever I close my eyes, all I see is a road. One direction. That's it. When I close my eyes, that's all I see is a road, one direction. That's all. Second Esdras 7:26. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen now that is withdrawn from the earth. Watch this. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. Okay? Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I see. Now I was like, wait a minute. That's not what I wanted. Verse 57, it says, then answered he, let's go to 56. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for if after death. Then answer, let me see, maybe, let me go to verse 55. I'm sorry. Verse 55 says, and that the faces of them which had used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Watch this. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, that which man that is born upon the earth shall fight, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get victory, he shall receive the thing I say. So what's the victory? Watch this. For this is the life whereas Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life that thou mayest live. So remember this part. It overcome. Bitterness will overcome you. Resentment. I'm not angry anymore. This is actually pushing me to keep the commandments even more because I don't want to see my people suffer anymore. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. I can't get mad at them because it's really my fault, man. I didn't keep the laws of God. So what do I need to do? I need to change. So then they don't do that to me anymore. You know, you look at it like a child, man, and it's not that difficult, honestly. Let's go to 2nd Esdras a little earlier. Verse, let me see, I'll go to verse 6. There's also another thing. A city builded and set upon a broad field, and it's full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left were deep water. The one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive his inheritance? That's the valley of death, guys. So be mindful that this is important to know who our enemy is, what they've done, because we don't want to end up in this folly and in these camps because it's very tempting. I'm not going to lie. It's brotherhood. It's very tempting, of course. And us people, the way we are, we tend to fall for that, which is understandable because that's how we are. It's in our spirit. Okay, this last verse, John, 3 John chapter 1, verse 9, and it reads, I wrote unto the church. No, that is not what I wanted. Was it this one? Yeah, that's not it. 3:9. 3. Hold on. Let me look for it again. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me erase this real quick. Let's see. 1 John 3. Give me a second. I'm almost done. 1 John. Oh, it's 1 John 1:11. It says, Beloved, follow not that which is evil, but that which is good. He that doeth good is of God, but he that doeth evil hath not seen God. Okay? So that's the report, guys. Remember, we're in the balances of the Most High. Let's understand what our history is. Let's understand. Look, a great warrior, a great king learns about their enemy, doesn't get emotional. He's very tactful. So we got to be tactful, prudent, and we need to renew our minds. Let's go there real quick because I want to end it with that, man. That's important, man. Ephesians 4. The renewing of the mind, perfecting the saints to become one faith, the sending the fourth, speaking of which, the 16, hold on. Be angry, be angry, sin not, put it away, speaking, that you renewing the mind. There it goes, right here. Ephesians 4:23. It says, no, let me go to 22. It says, that ye put off concerning the former conversation of the old man, which is corrupt, according to the deceitfulness of lust. So now we've been deceived, right? The deceitfulness of lust. Some of us are angry. Some of us have that anger in us. We lust for it. No, man, don't be corrupt by that, okay? You got to let it go. Why? And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Be mindful of what happened to our people. And the only way that we can change it is not by blaming them, is by blaming ourselves and getting our ass back on track. By keeping the laws. Each one of us is a block. It's a brick. Start polishing yourselves, brethren. We need to come together, okay? Because the times are going to get hard for our gente. A lot of us are dying, committing suicide, alcohol, drug addiction. A lot of us are in jail because of domestic violence. A lot of us are sick. I'm one of them. But hey, that's why I'm here, guys, because the more I teach, the less pain I feel. Okay? I'm talking about physical pain. All praises to the Most High for that. But anyhow, man, I'm gonna let y'all go with this. It's the video I have. Hopefully you understand what it means because I think we're just opening this stuff up. All right. So, anyways, before I start, hold on, wait, hold on a second, hold on. This is not it. This is not it. That's not the one I wanted. What do you guys? Oh man, this is really weird today. Real quick ending. Let's see. Is it this one? Nope, that's not it. All right. Well, I'll show you this one anyways, because if you guys walk with me, this is basically what I'm doing. Okay. If you guys walk with me, this is what I'm doing. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If there's something I find about our people, then I'm gonna let y'all know. My next class that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and go over it again, and I'm gonna show you how we have a lot of things in common with people that are in the Arab nations, in the Indian nations, and in the Asian nations. Okay, I'm gonna show you that that's how the migration worked. I'm gonna show you the customs and some of the actual attributes that we picked up from them. Okay, and also the bad things as well. All right. So, anyways, family, I love y'all, man. Shalom. And trust me, man. I appreciate y'all staying with me because I really need these classes. All right. So let me see this real quick. Let me see what Meshika sends. All camps are vultures trying to captivate the logical weak, questions their premises. They have no scriptural or historical connection to Israel. They are Canaanite spiritual vultures. That's right, man. Hold up. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Oh, it didn't do it. What the hell? Okay, anyways. Oh, that's why. Here goes. You brothers take care of yourselves, all right? Shalom.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth?
There was no transatlantic slave trade.
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me.
Hey, shalom. Shalom is.
Hay tiempo para pensar si hoy queda más que reír por lo que nos hizo sufrir. Si la intuición no te deja seguir, no te vayas a rendir. No te quiero ver sufrir. Búscate, escúchate, lucha, que mucha de tu fuerza nace de ti. Vas a ver que alimañas muerden tus entrañas, con sus artimañas extrañan tu fin. Sigue pues si tus pies tocan el suelo, el anzuelo no tira de ti. Grita fuerte si la vida te duele, que vuele el dolor, lo expulsamos de aquí. Mi llorafio. Dalo ella mira las nubes antes de perder las formas. De la luz del sol cuando no lo puedo. Voy mando de luces con lo que te he sentido y se enamoran. Pero todo llega y solo te queda esperar. Pasan los segundos y las horas y sin darte cuenta todo vuelve a comenzar. Todo parece lógico en este mundo de plástico, hay que ver la fe cómo se va perdiendo. Quizás me quede afónico de ser mi propio médico y crecer sin ser un hombre que va muriendo. Tal vez me estoy volviendo loco. Tal vez viviendo poco a poco. Sola de cara con el for one. Comían los callejones y harán restaurantes. Solo en dólares, pesetas, euros, bachen grand. Y los demás idiomas hablo porque no pagan. No chance for the run, chico, ponte a contar. El tiempo que malgas hace lamentar de llorar. Si está festina al desastre, está claro que eres un lastre. Que el trabajo tú no pasaste, me no te encontraste mal. Entraste mental, o animal depende para quién. Yo soy un ser espiritual que volar para les más bien. Que van en búsqueda que susurren, sus deseos. Y el que camina con narco, mujeres, son mis ven sin tu ven. Como algún ser no vaya a ser que tanto pero haciendo hielo en el cielo de Manchester. No manta usted, si no los que están diciendo que se lo rusean, que en verdad no le guste,
sensacionalismo, amigo eterno de la prensa, el mismo que forjó al humano sumiso, callado y muestra. En el noticiero, en el artículo del diario, la vida de una bebé que poco invierte al vecindario. Sirven como fieles feligreses, o por intereses, mienten todo el día, crían, crean solo estupideces. La historia afirma, indica que siempre negaron información alternativa que todo pueblo merece. A cada instante pareciera su labor asesinar una memoria colectiva que hace una nación, con una prensa cómplice que juega con humor, desconociendo ese dolor que nos dejó ese dictador. Cortina de humo es su mejor función, para apartarte de la fuente harán de todo, pues no. Como venderte el culo de Sharon Stone, cagándose en tu derecho a la objetiva información. El narco, el almirante, el presidente, el congresista, algún ministro, algún legado, de seguro es el patrón de ese periódico morboso y amarillo que al leerlo 2 minutos te vuelve menudo show. Los medios son culpables, responsables de toda propia basura que te ofrece la TV. Pues será mejor que se autoduque, pues muy bien, porque el comercio de los medios te carcome hasta la 100.
Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé, luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe, viviendo el día a día, más con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre lo sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta hoy de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Solo más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. En la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humo de este blon. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. ¿De qué manera sufre el alma cuando alguien se va? No hay medicina que cure esa larga enfermedad. La vitamina de la vida en esta sociedad es tan divina que por nombre tiene libertad. Libérate de la mentira que está por llegar. Mide tu orgullo antes de empezar a hablar. Cierra la puerta a quien no merezca entrar, porque hay mucho que se fue y sueña con regresar. amor es vivir sin amar. Solo queda la fe, solo queda soñar. Ponte de pie, ready para luchar. Some love, I can just smoke and there are some love them. I can just smoke and there are some love. I remember no fire, no burn. Ribby day. Cali with a mama soul, yeah. Tell them around. ¿De cuánto tiempo hablamos cuando hablamos de querer? Si la mitad lo malgastamos solo en comprender. ¿De qué manera es más fácil aprender? Que nacemos para ganar y morimos al perder. No puedo dejar de animarte, que cuando te caigas debes levantarte. Llegué para contarte que no todo artista muere por su arte. Traigo el honor de un humano con valor que utiliza poesía para respirar mejor. Escribo prosa para vengar al amor y recuerda aquella rosa que tiraron al contenedor. ¿Dónde se quedó el amor? Hey, I no voy a sitio on no microphone forever never. Tell me, roll some love. I can just smoke and the light some love them. I Rastafari my life some love. I remember no fire no burn. Ribby day. I live with a farmer soul, yeah. Reggae man a farmer warrior day. Veo la luz que ilumina mi vida y da amor a los que más quiero. Siento el mensaje que llega hacia mi corazón, me habla el universo. Veo personas que pasan de largo en mi vida y en verdad eso es bueno. Porque ahora sé lo que tengo y lo que ya no pierdo. Demasiada coincidencia para no ser verdad. Los de que no van a esperar en el más allá. Tú vas a seguir siguiendo el curso en la espiral. Mientras que yo evoluciono llego al despertar. Fuente celestial, te lo quieres saber. No hay punto final, amar va a aprender. Que yo no quiero obedecerte, ya sé lo que hacer. Cuando me muero de calor, de frío, de hambre o sed, ya solo pienso en ser aquel que siempre fui. Pero por miedo que mostraba otra versión de mí. Antes solía llorar, ahora no sé reír. Si no ponemos de por medio un poquito de weed. Eso más de estar bien, más efecto de pill. No quiero ser tu fe, te necesito a ti. Ángeles con la fe, mándalos de la street. Si vinimos de pa' morir, chicos.